Hello, and welcome to the virtual open house of sports medicine. I'm Andrea Tok. I'll be your child's teacher this year, and I just wanted to go over some basic things as if you were here for open house night. So I'm going to try to keep this short and to the point. Um, the first thing I wanted to do is just share a little bit of my background with you. Just this is a slide I'm going to share with your children as well, just a little bit about me. You know, as I already said, my name is Mrs. Tok. What do I like to do? What are some of the things I do? I do have two children that go to school here at West Claremont. I have my daughter Cameron's a junior this year, and my son Tyler is a senior and plays football, plays softball. So you may just see me at some sporting events around here. That's my favorite thing. And on my time away from school, I love to hike at the Cincinnati Nature Center, and I even volunteer there. Just some other stuff there. My husband's a teacher. I've been teaching. I'm going into my 20th year teaching this year, and my husband teaches also. So we get two teachers, and yeah. So it's a little bit. There's my dog. There's a little bit about me. I actually was a Glen Estee High School graduate, so I graduated in class of '96, and so live in West Claremont School District. So I'm kind of a lifer here. So that's a little bit about me. I wanted to also show you guys pictures of the classroom. I thought you might want to see what does the classroom look like. That's one of the highlights, I think, of open house is where do your kids live at during the day. So this is my classroom, 226, and I took this standing from the door. So like if you were in my doorway, this is what you would see looking in. Normally have my tables grouped. This year they are all spaced out. So they have to all, of course, with social distancing, be spaced out. So that's what that looks like there. This is a science classroom, and we have lots of sinks. And anyway, so that's that. This is Fran. Fran's a real skeleton, pretty cool. We obtained her at Glen Estee High School many years ago. Like this was when I was a student there. This was there. I don't know her backstory, but it's kind of a cool little icon that we have here. More pictures here. So this is like if you were sitting in a seat or you were like in a seat in the room, this is what the front of the room looks like. So you can see we have the smart board and have more skeletons around. And this is a view of looking back out the door. So just this is kind of what it looks like in my room. And then I wanted to just also go over kind of our framework, our instructional framework and playbook. So when your students come in the room and sit down, this will always be what's on the front screen that they will see. Of course, it'll be different every day, and this probably might change even still between now and September 1st. But they will always have something to do as soon as they come in the door. That's our welcome. It's the bell work time. They will be getting assigned seats on the first day. You can see there we have a learning target that's posted every day. So that way, that's like, what is it that we're going to be learning? So that's the learning target, what we're trying to get to. We have the actual learning plan. So that's the what are we doing today, Mrs. Tok. So this is kind of the learning activities that are planned. And then we'll have some sort of a finish strong, which is probably going to be just a little verbal like summary, something that, we can talk about the end of the lesson. So this is up on the board every day. That's pretty much it as far as basic stuff. I wanted to go over sports medicine, and this is the syllabus for that. Your child will be given a syllabus on the first day of school, and it'll also be posted on Schoology. So I'm not going to read this to you, but I'll just hit some highlights here. You can see there's going to be Remind signups. Parents already have Remind accounts. So I might be communicating with parents a little more over Remind and maybe emails as we need to, but it's just another communication tool. Like parents will be able to message me. I can message parents. Text message seems to be super easy for everybody. The phone numbers remain anonymous, so I think it's kind of convenient. So the school will be using Remind this year for parent contacts, and then I'm going to also use them for student contacts as well. Sports medicine, man, that's such a cool offering. I started this class myself, I don't even know, maybe 6 years ago now, maybe 7 years ago. They were looking for some new course offerings in the science department, and they said, come up with some ideas. And I can just tell you my backstory. I really wanted to be a physical therapist. I was a student athletic trainer at Glen SC High School, so I worked 2 years under an athletic trainer there in my junior and senior year of high school. And then I went on into physical therapy, and I worked in a physical therapy, two different offices actually. Was a pre-physical therapy major in college at UC, and then I felt sort of a divine calling, and that's the only way I can explain it, but it was sort of a divine calling to go into education. And so I switched my major to biology. I have a major in biology, and I'm blessed to now be able to teach sports medicine because that was always a passion for me. So we are following a adapted curriculum from Weber State University. So I didn't just make all this up on my own. We are following a curriculum. And so this talks a little bit about the things that we're going to be studying and learning. We have Sports Medicine 1 and we have Sports Medicine 2. It was to be an all-year course. There was a little glitch the very first year we offered it. There was a glitch in that they scheduled it as a semester course. And now we have Sports Medicine 1 and Sports Medicine 2. So it doesn't matter, but we had to break the curriculum is broken into 2 semesters. And students don't have to take both. They could take one, but they do have to take Sports Medicine 1 as a prereq to taking Sports Medicine 2. So this tells a little bit about the things that we're learning in Sports Medicine 1. You can see it's very heavy on anatomy of the body, the joints, the musculature, injuries, and how those injuries are, the signs and symptoms and treatments. So there's a whole lot of that in the first part. Parents, if you can make sure your students have their own class supplies. In years past, I have used fee money to maybe buy, or my own money, oftentimes to buy class sets of markers and scissors and, all that kind of stuff. And with the COVID, of course, we can't do that this year. So please get your child a pencil pouch or something. And then, we got to load it up with some pens, pencils, scissors would be good, even if they're just the small little scissors. Definitely some colored pencils for sure, maybe some markers. I still want to do some project-y things, but they just aren't going to be able to share materials. So they're going to need to come with all that kind of stuff now. I'm going to try to buy some extra things. So if there's some hardships or whatever, I can kind of help some students out that have that. But I know there's a whole lot of avenues in right now where I think you can even get some school supplies, local churches and things like that. So materials are important. A binder would be recommended also, the students, so they can keep their work together and organized, or at the minimum, a notebook and a folder for handouts. Something, I'm not going to do a binder check this year, but something that will organize their stuff. Late work, one-time half credit. So I'm not big on accepting late work. We have a due date. I usually give them multiple days to get things done. I remind them every day that this is due. And then once I collect something, I grade it, and then that's it. So I'm not chasing people around about late work. If they have something that gets turned in late, I'll give them a one-time half credit. After that, no, 0. So that they got to get their work done on time. Cell phone policy is big. I'm following the district policy. This is copied word for word. This is the district policy. They're not having cell phones and using them in the classroom unless it's for some educational purpose. So I normally have them place their phones in a cubby. This year I'm not doing that. For COVID, so they have to take their phones and put them, I want them on the desk face down. So I can see that everybody has their phone out, but it's face down. Otherwise, people are going to have them like down here in their pockets and under their sweatshirts. And so they need to be out, but face down. So we're not on them. So this talks about, there will be consequences, and they are pretty strict consequences. So I would make sure you take a look at that. Restroom policy, there's going to be 4 emergency restroom passes per quarter. I'll keep track of those. They can be bought back for a little extra credit at the end of the quarter. So there's a little incentive there to stay in the classroom. No food in the science classroom. That's like a major science department rule, and that even goes up to like the state level. They're really not supposed to have food and drink in the science classroom. But if they do have some low blood sugar issues, or they have the last lunch of the day and they're starving to death or something, I'm fine with that, but they'll just ask them to step out in the hallway if they need to have a quick snack. So they just need to talk to me about that. I get it. But we're going to do any eating and drinking between class periods as much as possible. I always also like to show students, the students will get a copy of this as well, but this is the rest of sports medicine. So if these topics sound very appealing to you, then I would try to get sports medicine 2 on the schedule either this year or next year. So that's it. So any questions that you all have for me, please send me an email and or contact me through Schoology, eventually maybe through Remind. So we'll have lots of ways to communicate with each other if we ever have any questions. So I hope that your child will have a wonderful year. I'm really excited to getting back into the school year and doing sports medicine with your students. Have a great rest of your summer break and have a great fall.